And it seems like our General Secretary, Thomas Gall, is not uh, ready yet. So we'll probably wait until we start the meeting.
Oh, okay. So he has a thumbs up.
I think he's asking us to just go ahead. Bailey, I renamed you to Bailey Lamont.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, forgot to do that. Hey, Thomas, can you unmute yourself for a sec?
Yep, no problem.
How's it going?
Well, well, being busy, having some food right now. Just,
Yeah.
just,
So you don't want to chair the meeting then?
nope.
Okay. All right, I'll do it. Um, so there's four of us. Should we get started?
I propose that we get started.
All right. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to today's Pirate Parties International board meeting. Today is Monday, October 23rd. It's 2017, sorry. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon where I am, and it's about 9 o'clock at night in Europe. And Keith, I don't know what time it is where you are. Pretty late, or I think 4 in the morning. That's crazy. Yeah, so welcome everybody. Thank you to all of our listeners. Ray just posted a link to the pad in the chat there. We should be all good to go. Participating, we have myself, Bailey, we have Thomas, we have Keith, and we have Ray. Ray, just make sure that you sign on the pad, like sign your name on the pad there. Oh, okay, thank you. Guillaume and Kuhn could not make it, and Nikolai could not make it. Okay, we have no alternate board members.
Hey, Bailey.
Yes, sorry, I was just looking at the pad there.
Yeah, we have a couple of guests, so we could explain that the link that you find when you click chat down below in your application, in the Zoom group chat, you will find the link to a pad. A pad is something that everybody who opens it can edit, and it's where we have the agenda. It's where we write the minutes, which will then later be posted for transparency reasons on our wiki, ppinternational.net. You can also follow the voting, and it's no problem for us if you have any inspiring thoughts for us or suggestions of how we can better anything. You can do so in the chat, in the Zoom group chat that I just mentioned, or right down below on the pad. We will monitor all things. And as a matter of record, I propose Bailey Lamont as a meeting chair.
Okay, thank you for that, Ray. Let's see. Oh, got another participant. Oh, are you gonna share your screen, Ray, or?
I was just showing the screen for a minute so you could see what the pirate pad was.
Yeah, thank you.
We have another guest too, which is Desert Troll or Roland from Austria. Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. Okay. Yes, so forgot where we were for a second. So yeah, Guillaume asked me to take his vote for this meeting. Did Kuhn give anybody his vote?
He did not.
Okay. And neither did Nikolai. All right. So I guess we can move on then to approval of the minutes. So if you look at the pad, it's line 51. You'll find the minutes from last meeting.
Quick question. Did we have quorum established?
Yes, sorry, I should have specified that. Yes, we do have quorum. 4 out of 7. Yeah. So
Which line are we on now, please?
54, 52 to 54, or 58, I guess, the approval of the minutes.
Are we going to announce a vote? Or did you do that? Maybe I didn't.
I think I did.
Okay.
And just note, good.
What's that? Okay. Okay, the minutes are approved from last meeting. Thank you, everyone. Are we good to move on to reports? Good with that. Keith, Thomas, thumbs up. Yeah, I think. Thomas, are you good? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just don't want to rush anyone. Okay, so individual reports. Guillaume is not here, so we'll just start with mine. So we had the membership meeting on Saturday, and it was a small turnout, but it was a good meeting. It was it did go really well. There was some really good conversations about just what's like happening in the movement, and we talked a little bit about the Czech elections, which that was really exciting. The one of the best things to come from that meeting was a action proposal from an activist in the Young Pirates of Sweden. Her name's Isabel. She has an idea to get everybody involved in a global action about the copyright reform bill in Europe right now that's getting voted on in November. So we talked about that, and she has a really cool idea. She wants to get everybody out doing actions, online and offline. So she and I right now we've been working on a document to just kind of describe the idea and try to make it kind of like an action plan. So we can pass that around to everybody and try and get more people on board with this. And I'm going to post a link to the pad for that, I think, because it would be really good to maybe get people's input. That was a cool thing to come from that meeting. And I think that's really all for me. I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I think that's it. Who's next? Keith.
Okay, so I submitted that Media Democracy Institute proposal I sent you all, and that's very happy about. I hope it goes well. I sent yesterday saw the mail for speakers for TT3. I was hoping everyone will confirm it's okay, but if it is, everything's fine. Let's just start sending that right away. We're starting to get mails to our board. I need to change that on our website to direct them to the form on the website, because we have a form in the TT3 website. So I want to make sure people, rather than sending those mails to the board email, that's from a prior announcement. And I've been exploring other research and conference grant applications. So like that last proposal, I'll be writing some more. I really, really think if there's one thing I can contribute to this organization, it's getting one of those grants. And I think that's really important for us. Okay, so that's it for me for now.
Awesome, thank you. Ray?
For those that are guests, TT3 is short speak for Think Twice Conference, the Think Twice Conference, number 3. That's going to be arranged in Israel in March 2018. Yeah, that was just my comment.
Awesome, thank you. Kuhn is not here, Nikolai is not here. Ray, do you have anything?
Yeah, sure. Koen de Vogt from Belgium is not here because he's been in the Czech Republic the whole weekend. Been doing a great job informing us and been celebrating almost with us. And where he's at right now, he doesn't have any internet connection that works. Nikolai has been offline for a couple of days and we haven't heard from him. But he will, like everybody else, be informed of our decisions and the minutes. As for myself, it's business as usual. I do a lot of activist work beside my job, some of it for PPI, and do quite a bit of the social media work for PPI in conjunction with our Bailey Lemon. And the last few days I've been working to announce our General Assembly in Geneva for November 25th, alongside our other board members. That's it, what I could think of right now. Thank you, Bailey.
Wonderful, thank you. Thomas.
Yeah, so in a way I have to excuse myself. The last 2 weeks I've been busy with party stuff, Germany, like lay auditing, General Assembly, preparing stuff, etc. So my time went by, sorry.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
You had a big thing with a German Pirate Party. What happened there? Did anybody get elected?
We just got out of general assembly and re-elected the board.
All right.
Carsten Zavos is now chair, and some other people are new on the board.
Who was the chair? Did you...
Carsten Zavos.
Okay.
He was vice chair before.
Cool.
Could you write that name in the chat, perhaps? I didn't quite catch it, you know.
So that's exciting. Good for you guys. So you don't have anything else to report? No? Okay. Cool. There's no alternate board members here. So if everyone's good, we're going to move on to the General Assembly. Is everybody good to move on? Any questions or comments? Okay, cool. So yeah, we are on General Assembly in November. We sent the invitation out. So that's a really good thing. What else is going on with that?
The General Assembly, would you like me to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just wanted to mention that we have yet another guest called Sasha Droz. Welcome. Feel free to comment or say anything to us in the chat. Just click the button chat and you'll be able to speak to everyone. We have the General Assembly in Geneva on the 25th next month. So it's basically 1 month out. We sent out the announcement and invitation to the PP leaders list through an account of our General Secretary Thomas Gall. We will be redoing that, trying to get each of all of our contacts in the respective membership parties information about this in the next few days. Maybe even starting to contact each and every one of them to make sure that we get the names of their delegates, so that we really get a successful General Assembly. The General Assembly itself, for those of you that are not board members, will be what we call, or are trying to call, a hybrid event. It will be the board and a few volunteers in Geneva, where our head offices are. And on the other side, we will have almost everybody else online through the Zoom video conference solution that we are using right now. And it will be a first. It will be a test. And only time will show if it will be a success. Is there anything else I should mention about the GA? Doesn't look like it.
No, nobody else has anything to say. Okay. Did the three of you end up having your meeting about it?
That's a very good point. A lot of things has been happening, elections in two countries and stuff. So we haven't been able to. And one of our board members has been moving from one continent or whatever to another. So we haven't met, but we really should. I will let that be up to Keith and Thomas, Keith Gosa and Thomas Gall, because I will move anything on my calendar to suit the two of yours calendars. Maybe we'll try to make it at a time where Keith doesn't have to get up at 3:40 a.m. like today. Maybe you can see it in his face. I think we let Thomas be the boss of it, but he checks with Keith, set up a meeting, and then we discuss all the details and technical stuff. Perfect. Thank you, Bailey.
Good. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah, just set up a time. I'm flying a lot these days, so I mean, I'm sorry that my schedule's quite crazy. But just set up a meeting time, propose a meeting time, maybe a doodle, and we'll get it going.
Good stuff.
But Thomas has the ball on that, and you can put that in the line 99 for anybody who's followed the part. I think we're all good to move on if you want to, Bailey.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with moving on. Are you guys all good with that? Can I get a thumbs up? All right. I'm just going to give Keith a minute, actually, to type the notes. Oh, you're good? Okay. All right, next topic is think twice.
Okay, I guess I'll start out on this. So that Democracy and Media Foundation application that I was worried about submitting, I managed to get it submitted. So I also got a receipt that they received it, and it probably will take them at least a month to get back to us. If we do get it, there will be an interview process beforehand. So if we get past the first stage, there'll be an interview process. I am not hoping, I'm not putting my hopes too heavily into getting this. It was our first attempt to apply for a serious grant, but we can use what we wrote as a framework, basically copy and paste and edit what we wrote for that grant for another grant. So if anyone sees any other opportunities, a call for applications that we can use, then please forward them to me and we'll send those out. And again, is part of that grant and is it part of the new call for speakers that I just sent you all an email? I assume you all got it. Please, let me know if there's anything in that mail that we should change. But otherwise, forward that to everyone. The reason I call it call for papers because normally a conference, an academic conference would have a call for papers. But I wrote abstracts and speakers in parentheses. Maybe we want to have a separate email that we would use more for what I called experience-based speakers as opposed to academic-based speakers. I wrote that we want to get a balance of the two. That's very important for this conference. So it's not just an academic conference, but it's also getting experience-based people, meaning politicians, nonprofit workers, people who are presenting something other than research. Which will probably be the majority, but we do want to try and get a balance. And so that's out there. So again, please forward to everyone. And the important thing on that is that it forwards everyone to our website link, and I'm going to put that on the, if someone can beat me to it, it is the Think Twice Talk, I got it already, Think Twice Talk register talk. I'm pasting that in the minutes right now. And if you want to participate in the conference, please log in. Please fill out that form. If you don't want to speak, then you can just fill out the form without putting in the abstract of the talk. At least we'll have your name and email, and we can keep you updated from there. But let's try and direct everyone to register through that link. And I guess that's all I have on the top of my head. Can anyone, maybe Thomas or someone else, provide any other updates?
Well, Kuhn is here actually. He just stepped in.
But Kuhn is Kuhn de Vogt, our board member that we didn't expect to show up. We'll see if he is in such a position that he can share video and audio or not. We'll just wait until he steps in. Just wait and see if he steps in. I think we could simply continue.
Hello?
Oh, hey, Kuhn.
Oh, hey.
Okay, it works. It just came on like a couple minutes ago. So the internet connection might just drop randomly. I'm sorry.
No worries. How's it going?
Fine. Yeah, so I didn't really hear the beginning of the meeting, so I don't know what's all going on.
Bailey, do you want me to fill Kuhn in?
Sure.
Well, Kuhn, we noted that you possibly couldn't be here. We also noted that you hadn't given your vote to anyone. The first question is, do you want to give any future votes to anyone in case you drop out because of your internet situation?
Yes, Ray, you can vote for me if I drop out again.
Yeah, that's cool. And right now, we just had Keith inform us a little bit about the activities surrounding Think Twice #3. He's also given a very short report. Is there anything you've done since the last time we had a meeting, or have you been busy in Czech Republic all the time?
I was in Czech Republic like Friday, Saturday. I tinkered a bit with the icons on the website and stuff like that. I looked into making a separate registration for visitors, but then I didn't really find anything. I wanted to like look into tools to like offer PayPal and bank account transfers and stuff, but they're either paying or crap. The ones I found.
Right. Do you want to share one or 2 minutes about what you experienced in Czech Republic during the incredible election results that they had?
Yeah. Okay. So I was in Czech Republic from Thursday night, hoping to could help out on Friday. I thought Friday was the last day of campaign, but it was actually the first day of the elections. I thought most of the elections on one day, but okay. So on Saturday, I basically went to help set up the party, and then at 2:00, there was a countdown on screen, and very exciting, the closing of the vote, and then they show a ballot box, and we had to wait another 5 minutes, and then it came in first around 9, a little bit to 8.8 something, and my first thinking was it's gonna drop a bit, it's gonna be around 8, 7.5, what was in the last polls, but gradually it kept on climbing up and up and up. So it was great for the atmosphere, the results coming in this fashion. So everybody's super excited. So we were fourth party in the beginning, then we climbed to third party, started to pull away from the fourth place, and then up to third position, over 10%, first steady 9, 10%, 10.5. Yes, great, and everybody was super excited. And now they're getting a little worried because now they need to not fuck up on. Now the big work begins for them.
Yeah.
And for us to support them, right? So.
Yep. Absolutely. That's so cool. That's amazing. That was really exciting.
Yeah.
On the weekend. I mean, just even like, I mean, being there must have been awesome, but like even just following online.
I feel like, if I can make a comment, Bailey, I feel like it has the potential to be the start of the second wind of the pirate movement. There has been some truly horrible elections in the last couple of years, with the exception of Iceland, of course, and quite not so much activity in our grassroots. As PPI board members, we have, well, pretty much been left alone to do things. If the Czech elections, makes people enthusiastic in Norway, by the way, people have really started to feel better about both being a pirate and working as a pirate and volunteering. And then we have an election in Iceland coming up this weekend, right, Bailey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think because of some halfway inside information I got, they will have even better result than they did the last time. So I think we all should feel at least invigorated and maybe even work harder.
Yes.
Definitely.
I also invited pretty much everybody there to come to Think Twice.
Awesome. That's great.
Bailey, did you see my message in the side channel? Wire.
Yep. Go for it. Okay. Any other comments on Think Twice or Czech Republic or any? I mean, I guess there's always lots to talk about, but.
Oh, I just mentioned that today or yesterday I put up that announcement on our website that I put the link into on our pad.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So nothing else on Think Twice, eh? Are we good to move on? Thumbs up. Oh, I can't see you, Kern, but are you good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So next, I guess we already covered this. Czech elections was kind of in. Oh yeah, no. Sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. It looked for a minute like it was it was in there as like a separate item all on its own, but.
Which line, Bailey, point of order, which line in the pad are we on again?
Well, okay, so we just covered Czech elections, so we are on finances, which is line 117.
Thank you.
Sorry about the confusion, you guys.
Oh.
So Keith.
Yeah. So I need to go through and get our updates on our PayPal and bank balances, which I haven't done in about a month. But I don't think there's been any new updates as far as funding that's come through there. We should decide on, and again, I guess you all asked me before, and I kind of gave a negative response, but technically it's not really my, I propose that we be cautious with using our finances, but we should use some of our finances for the GA. And so I leave that question open to you all, how much we want to contribute and for what for the upcoming GA.
Thomas and Ray both had their hands up. Who wants to go first? Thomas? Okay.
Well, if I'm allowed to. Let me say, we still do not know how much money even Party of Switzerland would be eager to spend to help us out. So I don't know today how much amount of money we should spend by now. Maybe we should ask Switzerland if there might be hosting it in a way, so our costs might be minimized. As we know, money is not endless.
Money is not. That's an understatement, I think.
Ray?
I think that we, at this point in time, have around 2,200 euros in our bank account. I'm not really sure, but some of that money will surely go to some of the IT solutions that we have been using the last year. So we don't have 2,200 to spend. I also know that we're going to be renting a meeting space at Hotel Le Villes. Anybody correct me if that's not entirely correct. And that's going to take, I'm guessing now, maybe half of it. The board members themselves have financed their travel and stay in Geneva. We're volunteers and we spend our private money to do things. It would be nice if we had hosts and that they could actually contribute a little bit, maybe make it not so costly to eat during the GA and etc. But we don't know yet. Our chairman Guillaume Saouli is ill, so he's not present. But we should really talk about our spending before the next board meeting, which is in 2 weeks. The natural people to do that, between the meetings are Thomas and Guillaume, and they can inform us of how much we have and what Switzerland might be able to contribute practically, so that we know. As the last point, as you all have noted, I have suggested that we, for a voting solution, spend between $49 and $99 on that, and $99 on the discussion platform called, what was it, Discourse or Discord, something like that. And I'll be getting back to under any other business when it comes to voting solution, whether or not to use poll everywhere or revert back to trying to use Redwire. But that's what I know about the economy so far. Thank you, Bailey.
Okay. Any other comments, Keith? No.
My suggestion. I'm sorry, Bailey. I didn't mean to interrupt, but my suggestion was that that Thomas and Guillaume coordinates between the two of them. Of course, using whatever Keith knows about the actual factual bank holdings, and then making sure that the rest of the board knows this, and that they do this before the next board meeting, so we know where we stand.
Will do.
Okay, so yeah, so are you guys good with that, Keith and Thomas? And you guys can set that up with Guillaume. All right, awesome. Good. Any other financial issues to talk about? No? So we're good to move on then?
Just one comment. As you all know, we have a few visitors, and maybe even somebody will watch this on YouTube. Maybe even afterwards. Maybe even some of them will ask themselves, how on earth can PPI, a global organization, only have 2,000 euros? Have they spent all their money? And the fact is that we have not. We have spent almost no money at all. And the source of our financing is from membership fees. And the membership fees in PPI are extremely low. They average, I think, and this is a guess, somewhere between 45 and 50 euros per year. And most of our member parties don't pay anything, because the rules that we set up in the last few GAs are such. So we are really not well financed at all, and we're not just going to finance things ourselves as volunteers during the GA. We have been financing everything ourselves during the whole year or year and a half that we've been going. So I hope when we get to the GA that we will talk about how we can better finance up PPI. Thank you.
I also, just one last point. I also want at the GA that we go over membership dues. There's a lot of parties that I had back and forths with about them paying their membership dues. Basically, they were planning and expecting to pay that fee, but of course, as I look at the bank balances, those transfers were never made. I am sure if we remind them, they will pay their membership dues. It just kind of got something they forgot to do about. So at the GA, I would like that we will go over the parties that have and have not paid yet. And again, membership dues are pretty much voluntary, so the parties shouldn't feel like they shouldn't participate because they can't afford their dues. That's no reason whatsoever. We understand that there's certain parties that don't. Everyone's like us. They're just volunteers getting together, and they just can't. Even though the fees are only usually about 20 euros, even gathering that amount is difficult. So that's fine. Just let us know. But we do need to keep a sort of order. And I also remind that we also have debt. So technically speaking, our balance and our debt are almost equal, which is another reason we're weary about using funds. And I have requested that transfer, that debt be made, but I received no response from Switzerland. So that's something maybe, Ray, you can follow up with.
You said I could follow up on what? And you mentioned Switzerland. Did you mean?
Well, I sent a mail a while back about the transfer we agreed to make in, I believe it was 5 payments. repayment of our debt.
So you didn't mean Switzerland, you meant Norway. You said Switzerland, you know. I
No,
know.
I said Switzerland on purpose because they hold the bank account.
Okay, sorry.
They're the ones who have to initiate the transfer. Norway just has to confirm it.
Yes, the gentleman thing to do would be for me to remind our leadership that we want to pay the money. But is the board specifically asking me to do that?
No. In fact, I'm specifically asking the Swiss holders of our account to make the repayment transfer. And I will put this also on the agenda for the General Assembly.
Okay.
So Norway doesn't have to do anything except maybe remind me if it's still they don't see that repayment.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for now for the finance. This is boring talk. So.
Yes. Can I, Bailey? You know, we have guests, and one of them is Roland from Austria. He's using the Zoom group chat actively, so I just want to make sure that his thoughts get shared on the video and stuff.
Absolutely.
He points out that there are other solutions for polling and voting out there. That's number one. So as a result of that, I asked him if he had any ideas and whether or not he could speak during when we take up that point under any other business. Okay. He kindly says that he will talk to his people in Austria, the pirates in Austria, and get back to me on email. And we're really happy about that, because if we can have a solution that's easy and that doesn't cost us anything, that would be perfect. Number two, he says that he's been sitting in the management or administration in Austria for 1.5 years and has never gotten an invoice from us. So I would like our Keith what's he called again? Your treasurer, to get in touch with Roland on that point. They should at least get an invoice for 2017. Maybe we'll have another 50 euros. Thank you, Bailey.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, Keith?
So I will say that we did send emails, and I'm looking up the email now, but to Austria, and I can send it again. We don't have individual invoices for each. We set the invoices upon request of each party. Otherwise, we have to prepare 40 different invoices. We set up a table, however, that lists in that email that lists the fees for each party. If Austria wants to receive a specific invoice just for them, I can write that up specifically for them. But again, it would take hours and hours and hours to prepare it for 40 individual parties.
Okay, Ray?
Yeah. Number one, having sent an email does not mean that it has been received. It does not mean that it has been read. It does not mean that they care. Having sent an email has no value at all, especially since we get no response, or if they even received it. And I suggest that Roland in Austria does not mean he needs an actual invoice. He just says he hasn't even gotten an email. And that's not Austria's problem, that's our problem. I tried sending some emails yesterday, all of them got. So that's something we have to deal with internally in. Thank you.
Very quickly though, I just want to confirm, because it wasn't said Roland is not listed as our contact. If he would like to be for PP Austria, I'm now finding who is the...
Point of order. I suggest we solve this outside the meeting, after the meeting with Austria, and move on with our board meeting after thanking Roland, of course.
Okay. Are you guys all good to deal with this after the meeting then, Keith?
Okay.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Thank you, Roland, for that, and thank you for your suggestion for it was the polling software that Roland's going to look into.
Well, they're using Liquid, and
Okay.
they'll send us information.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. That's great. Okay. Any other comments before we move on? No? Okay. All right. Next topic, research.
I guess that's me again. So the proposal for the research proposal kind of got dwarfed into a journal proposal, and that is now on the books after confirming with Arif from Turkey on the prior proceedings of Think Twice and the print that they made of those basically it's a journal that they made from those proceedings. Just to continue with that format for the upcoming, but we need actually, and this is a separate, we need an academic committee. And I would appreciate, I wrote this in the last mail, I would appreciate if people could volunteer or recommend people that would serve in the academic committee, and obviously this would need to be a bit of a meritocratic placement, so we would need to have people with professional or academic backgrounds that are suited.
Okay. Kun?
Yeah, that need people with academic background, right?
I think, though, actually someone with a professional background would be appropriate in this case as well, but we would need to have a mix.
Yeah, I can Matthijs Ponier of yeah, I'll look him up, but from the Netherlands. He is at some point said he wanted to work with Think Twice, but I kind of forgot about it at some point. I will look him up.
Anything else on research, guys?
Also, a small technical thing. Zoom is an awesome application because it's the only thing on my computer that has internet access, by the way. I cannot access Pats or any other chat client or any internet. Just, you know.
Really?
Yes, really. It's weird.
And yet Zoom works fine.
Yeah, I probably just have to start it when the network works, and then the streaming service keeps on working apparently. So it's I don't know what the problem is.
Huh.
It doesn't ping Google at the moment.
Oh. Wow. Well, I mean, at least Zoom's working.
Yes.
Good stuff.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that. The thing is, I've been testing Zoom, 5 times a day for quite a few weeks, and even when the internet almost goes down, we still have connections. And when you're using high quality video, it can take up to maximum 350 kilobytes per second. So, if Zoom existed when we only have 2 ISDN lines in 1997, 128 kilobit per second, we could still use it. So it's a good thing, wherever you are. Anyway, just go ahead.
Yeah. It's a good little app. All right, so nothing else on research. We're ready to move on then? Thumbs up. All right. Cool. Next topic is the monthly coordinators meeting. So I pretty much covered this in my individual report.
Point of order?
Yes.
Yeah, you covered it, so it shouldn't even be there. So we can just move on, is my suggestion.
Yeah, fair enough. I already, yeah, okay. I won't then. But I will say though that, it is like, I feel like this is something that like just needs to keep happening and like I hope more people get into it. Yeah, that's all. All right, so we can move on then. Any other business? So we're almost done the meeting. Ray?
Keith was before me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see until
I
after.
just have a very important point about our UNESCO, our UN ECOSOC membership. So they had sent us an email with a reminder, a deadline of October 31st of signing up focal points. So I went into the system and I signed. We said that Thomas and myself would be the focal points, I believe. I'm in the system right now, and I've signed up myself and Thomas as focal points. I also signed myself up as, I noticed there's a bunch of other categories that we didn't have, which were social development, financing for development, designation, sustainable development, application. And so I just put myself as those contact types. The head of the organization are Guillaume and Thomas, and the committee on NGOs representative is Richard Hill. So I just wanted to go through if any other, I'm putting Thomas as well now as a conference focal point. Anyone else want to be listed as anything in that?
Ray?
So I'm just confirming that for the record here on our ECOSOC. Those are our 4 contact people for our...
As well, because I was inclined to do that myself, so no problem. Just you did it before me. We need to some other people as well. I propose, for example, Bailey getting, well, especially signed up as well. So as we have limited people having ground passes in Geneva, but I suppose that Bailey as the vice chair should be in it as well.
Okay.
Can I ask?
Bailey, would you like to be? There's a few other categories I didn't sign up for. Advancement of women, quadrennial report, public administration. Are there any? Should I sign you up for some other titles, Bailey?
Okay, Ray, you were gonna say something because I suggest. Do you want to talk about this more after the meeting? Should we do it now, or should we? Because I'm interested. Like, I'm totally interested. I just kind of want to, like, I guess, learn a little more about it. And could you like send me some links, maybe?
Could I reply?
Ray?
Could I reply to Keith, please? Me or anybody who listens, anybody who listens didn't understand any of that. What is this? Why are we signing up? And is there? I was planning to go to Geneva, and I was going to get my walk-on pass from the UN during the week that I'm in Geneva. Is this what we're talking about?
So, well, to clarify, the system itself has several functions. In part, it just says who is the leader, who is what, who is responsible for which kind of subject, etc. So that's all in the system. Certain people of those will be allowed to get ground passes, except, for example, the leaders itself definitely will, plus 2 more people. And if I remember correctly, that would be Guillaume, me, you, and Bailey, as we have discussed it a while ago. But that is a different process but those people have to be listed in that system.
Okay, but what is the thing we are talking about? Is it a website? Is it a database? Is it
It
a
is
registry?
the official entry at the ECOSOC itself, telling who is the leader or what is the organization stands for, which areas does it carry, and who's responsible. So
All
this
right.
is very, very official inside of the ECOSOC, and it's inside ECOSOC.
Okay,
Not
so
public.
so therefore, but based on those responses, I propose that Keith or Thomas informs Bailey and I about these things outside the meeting. We do not decide in this board meeting who's going to be on something we don't even understand fully yet.
Sorry, it's just a database. All we're talking about is the internal database at ECOSOC. The ground pauses are separate to it, but this is just telling the organization which areas we stand for. Where do we have expertise?
All right.
It's just
Okay.
the database. So that can be expanded and any time, even outside any kind of meeting, as we have done before.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We're still under any other business, I guess. I have any other business afterwards when this is done.
Okay. Is there anything else on ECOSOC? No. I want to just say put me down, like for the thing. I really should learn a little more about what that entails, though. Okay. What's the next?
And just confirming, I did put you down, Bailey.
Sorry, what's that?
I did put you down, and I signed you up for a few different contact types. So
oh, awesome! Thank you.
You're in there, and I put your email as well, so you'll get updates.
Sweet.
Okay, so that's
Great.
it.
Awesome. Thank you. Ray?
You asked what was next under any other business. Line 135, and then Kuhn have one, and then I have one more.
Okay. So it's the security conference in Munich.
Maybe we can ask who wrote line 135 and 136.
So I added it on Guillaume's request. Guillaume's not here right now, but I just bring up the issue that there is this other conference that we probably should start being more, and they've, I guess, asked that we become more involved with. And so I will be contacting this conference head who's listed. If there's anyone else who's associated with that conference, please just let me know. Thomas is...
Yeah, but sorry, I'm part of the organization of the so-called Munich Security Conference, the pirate stuff, not the original one. But this conference is associated with the Munich Security Conference for quite a while now. And a permanent guest we've managed to have that is, for example, that Brigitte Jonstadter is a permanent guest at the so-called Munich Security Conference. So this is a side conference. Our next conference in February will be just after the Munich Security Conference. The last time it happened in parallel, but we decided to move it to the weekend after, as well, we know, us pirates tend to be busy otherwise, earning money. We're not able to do that during the week time. But the conference itself will have highly issued themes in it. And it's, last time it had been about security for military systems, cyber security, whatever. So, but that involves a lot of things, and we all now know that. So, and in the past, so we should, in a way, support this kind of conference, as it is a vital one. It's as I said, a side conference, an official side conference to the Munich Security Conference. That conference is visited by, well, most of the time, people like Secretary of whatever, Defense, United States, Russia, their presidents, etc. So this is highly decorated conference. Then our conference is the site, one of the site conferences.
Yeah, every year I get asked to participate on the conference, and I will be asked again by Alexander Kohler, who is like the pirate inside of that, and I will consider it one more time.
So many cool conferences coming up. Internet Governance Forum is in December, I think, and then there's that, and then Think Twice, and there's so much cool stuff.
Yeah, do you mind if I mention, it's maybe a side note, but this year, Computer Chaos Club, the CCC conference, they say it will be the biggest ever. It's in Leipzig. A few of my friends and I are going, but we really need to.
I'm also going.
Yeah, we really need to find a place to stay. And Leipzig is already full. It's it's after Christmas and up until the 30th of December. And we really need a place to stay, but Leipzig is completely full. So if we know somebody in Dresden, which is 1 hour, 15 minutes away by the train, or in Potsdam, Thomas, that could, help us find a place to stay, that would be super cool.
Just ask us. Maybe we can help. And I know even Leipzig, we have some pirates down there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome. Okay, so anything else on that? No? Okay. We talked about ECOSOC. Videos? Is there anything?
I'm sorry, mind if I help you? Kuhn had any other business, and then I have another business, and then maybe videos.
Okay, I'm sorry. Kuhn, did you have something?
Well, yeah, something I thought of just now. I was playing with OpenShot, that's a video editor, and I was trying to think about cutting up the existing videos from Think Twice last year to make them like more professional looking, and then maybe we can share them again as an advertisement for the new conference. That's work in progress.
Awesome. Keith?
Is there a way to share those videos so I could also work on it?
I didn't get that.
Is there a way to share those videos so I could also work on it, or is it too big?
They're pretty huge files at the moment.
Okay, anyway, just keep us updated.
Yeah.
Excellent. Who is next for new business?
Well, I have any other business, which is, if you remember from last meeting, we postponed the selection of how are our members going to vote. I suggested poll everywhere, which costs, what was it, 95 euros. Then it was postponed and suggested by our chair, Guillaume Saouli, that we would make the selection of what tool we use this meeting, the next meeting, which is this one. He indicated that we could use Redmine, which I don't know a lot about. Maybe Thomas can explain to us, how do you use Redmine to vote, and
Well,
and stuff like that.
to put it simple, if you're registered and the voting site is on, you just have to log in and say, well, I'm to that page. Say, click that box, vote yes, no, abstain. That's it, and it's documented below in the text, so all is documented. It's just clicking somewhere, and that's it. The main part is preparing it. That's the most thing, but that's with all software we have. It's just simple. Party of Norway, click.
Right. So we would have to register or have the people that have voting rights register on Redmine.
Yeah.
Then you or anybody else that have admin access to Redmine could put in what we're voting on ad hoc. You know, if we during the GA decides,
Exactly.
here's a new case, then we can put in that case and everybody can vote.
Well, if you are in the group, there is the opportunity to give all those people being in there to bring in all their motions into it, and it will be decided afterwards.
Right. So there's a bit of preparation, and then there is writing a thing that explains to people about the 17 clicks they have to do to.
The frame itself has to be prepared, plus the locking. That's it.
Okay, so no voting through your cell phone or your tablet or your anything like that.
Straight internet using your Android, Windows phone, whatever.
Right. Okay. Cool. The question is pretty simple. Should we decide today what we use, or should we wait for the feedback from Austria, and then maybe some description on how what's the solution again? How that works? Should we just leave it and let Thomas and Keith and I figure it out?
I'm okay with that, if you guys are.
Same with me, because I believe the next meeting is early November. There is enough time to prepare whatever tool we will have to set up in the meantime, and even being tested. So, and even if we have two tools, I wouldn't mind. But the experience from Austria, from everywhere else, I do not object to. Though I believe Austria uses liquid feedback, and I am believing that our current liquid feedback is not really maintained.
Okay, do the board agree to the following? And Keith, if you could try to write this down in our minutes for us. Do the board agree that the committee for the General Assembly, which is Thomas Gall, Keith Goldstein, and I, Raymond Johansson, select and prepare how our members are going to vote?
What do you guys think of that? Good? Okay.
I got kicked off the pad. 1 second.
It's so quiet right now.
We're at line 150 in our agenda, part agenda.
Yep.
What this means, does the board agree that the GA committee, blah, blah, blah? What it means practically is that Thomas, Keith, and I talk about this in our next meeting that will be set up by Thomas, and then simply decide and are responsible for preparing it. It's not more complicated than that. We could ask for a thumbs up and we'll be fine, Bailey.
Yeah, thumbs up. We don't need to take a formal vote. All right. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. Any other comments on that? No? Are we good to move on then? All right. All right. So I think that brings us to the end then. At least everything that's on the pad right now. Is there anything else that anybody wants to discuss before we close the meeting?
I second that we close the meeting, but also simply acknowledge that Jessica Sin has joined us in the pad and possibly also in soon.
Oh, awesome. Hi,
Just-
Jessica, if you're in here. Okay, so awesome. Keith?
Just one last point on the videos. We had agreed in the last meeting that I would set up the template. I just haven't gotten to that yet. Roland was helping me out with it, and I'm gonna try and take care of that before our next meeting. And hopefully with Cone as well, now that he's got the TT videos, which we could be a great starting project for that.
Okay, that's great. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip over it. I didn't realize that there was more there, but yeah, sorry about that. Are we good to close the meeting then? All right. All right, we're done. We are done the meeting. Thank you to everybody who attended, like all of our board members. Thank you to everybody who just hung out and listened and gave their input. Yeah, so the next meeting will be on Sunday, November 5th at 8 o'clock a.m. Central European time. Thanks, everyone.
I will now first stop the recording and then I will simply end the meeting. Thank you all. It's been a pleasure.